All right, everybody, what's going on? It's Monday night. Time for cheap seats. Obviously, it'll look a little different. Gene's not here. Dylan's dealing with some stuff, so he's not here tonight. But all right, so we got somebody. So we got Jory, who's gonna fill in, and we also have somebody else who'll be on in a couple minutes. But Jory, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, well, I'm doing all right.
Okay, okay. I mean, you guys already know Jordan. Been on here. He's basically every show I'm on. You already see Jordan, so you already know what we're in for. So Jordan, what's up with you, man?
What's going on, man? What's going on? Hopefully, since we didn't really have any shows yesterday, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. You don't have to be a father; you can be an uncle. Really, all the guys out there, man. Yesterday was our day. Enjoy, go to the beach, spend time with family. Actually, before, because I was watching ESPN last night, right? And there was a special that was going on, and it was like, so a girl, so her dad was like the coach of like the Seattle Mariners back in the day. Well, he was like a third base coach, and like she told her dad that she was gonna die of terminal cancer, and she said this quote that she had. It was the quote was, "The chickens run at midnight," right? And it didn't make no sense. They're like, what? So they ran with it. And then, like, I think a few months after she passed away, I think it was like, well, I think her dad was on the Pirates now. They were in a game, and a new rookie that signed on hit a home run, and then at midnight, and it struck, and like chickens run at midnight. So kind of like stuck out, but it's kind of like a Father's Day story they had. But yeah, I know kind of got sidetracked, but yeah, I mean. Hope everyone's doing good. It was good to have a good show. So.
Okay. I mean, look, that's kind of the story you talked about.
I think
One of the
did you
things
see that
you
last
love.
night? I mean,
I did not catch that story, but I'm just saying, like, when it comes to sports, there's always like nice little stories like that get woven into whatever game you're watching. Or I mean, there's a lot of people who probably didn't even know that story until they brought it up on that broadcast.
Yeah.
And to baseball players and athletes, when they play on Father's Day, it's a big deal. We see Mother's Day, everybody with the pink bats and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And also, like you said, Father's Day isn't just for dads. If you are a father figure of any kind,
Yeah.
you can celebrate it as well. But, we already got the chat going. Coach already up in here. What's going on? Got Cool. What's up? Cool says, let's get ready to rumble. Okay. All right. It's Coach again. And then Freddie. What's up, team? What's going on, Freddie? We will have a fourth coming on here in a couple minutes, but we can go ahead and get into the first topic and get this show kicked off right. So, I figured we'll start with yours, Jordan, because I think it's a good question to start with.
Man, I know that's Jamal Murray, but that looks like me from a distance, bro.
Oh,
Man,
I mean, I've been told I look like Jamal Murray a little bit.
I don't know. Maybe.
From Walmart.
For what? You said from Walmart?
I said from Walmart, maybe.
No, I mean, I've been told that I look like him. I mean, I kind of know, like, oh, kind of looks like me with the beard and everything.
Stop trying to take Nuggets credit for winning the title, man.
Oh, no, I'm not taking credit the same. Then that kind of looks like how
I know what you're saying. I was just messing
with that. But
yeah. Here we go.
What's up, guys?
Going on, Aaron?
Yeah, thanks for bearing with me a little bit.
How you good? You good?
What's going
so
on?
Jordan. No, hey, we're good. We're just about to start the first topic, so you got perfect timing.
Perfect.
So take it away, Jordan. This is your question.
Oh shoot, I gotta. Okay, so my question was. Sorry, guys, I gotta go back. Kind of threw me off guard with my being first. Yeah, I gotta go back. Okay. How far back was it? Okay. My apologies, guys. Okay, so my question is, so with the Nuggets off of a fresh, finals win in the NBA, which team, like with the draft on Thursday, and a lot of trades happening, on draft night, you were hearing Zion maybe getting shipped out, Dame question mark might get moved, probably gonna stay. They like Scooter might, they might want to get Scooter. So my question is, which teams have the best chance to knock off the Nuggets going to next season? And it's like a two-part question. And what moves could some teams make to make that happen or have a chance? So, like you said, they could bring back Tatum, or they're gonna Brown. They're gonna bring him back with that duo. Is that enough to knock the Nuggets off? Bill going
Okay,
to
so
the
you're
Suns.
not just focusing on West teams. You're talking
No,
about
I'm just talking about like
okay,
all NBA. Yeah, all
okay.
NBA.
That works.
I mean,
That works.
I should have clarified that, but yeah. I was basically centered on more on the West teams because they're in the West, but when it
Okay.
comes to the finals, East and West, so we can do both.
That
I guess
works.
I can go with Kyle first.
Okay.
Your answer?
So, I mean, the West is interesting because I feel the same way about the West next season that I did this past season. A lot of question marks at the top. A lot of teams that could surprise. Oh man. I mean, everybody's gonna want to say
Good question.
Phoenix. I'm not bought into Phoenix. They only got 5 dudes on the roster. Last time I checked, you need like 9 deep in the playoffs. So Phoenix is kind of out of it right now. Memphis, Ja's gonna be gone 25 games. The Kings have to show they could do it a second year in a row. I mean, the Clippers, if you're gonna tell me Kawhi and PG are healthy, sure. I'm not banking on that. To be honest with you, I think Denver's kind of
Like
set in the West. And then in the East, might be a homer pick, but I think my Celtics can give the Nuggets a battle there. Jokic would still be a problem for the Celtics, but I think they have the depth. I think they're gonna make some improvements. I feel like they could do it. My sleeper would be Cleveland, because I think Cleveland has in Mobley and Allen 2 guys who could frustrate Jokic. Plus with Garland and Mitchell in the backcourt, I think those 2 could pose a problem for the Nuggets, but that's what I'd go with.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question because, Nuggets, they're all young. They drafted well with, getting Jokic. Aaron Gordon's like, 28, 26. Jamal Murray, 24, 26, 25, around that age. So it's like they're all young. It's not like they're old. I mean, they got Caldwell Pope, but he's kind of their veteran. But, like people in the comments saying like it's like so wide open in the West, Pavel said, like, what are the LA going to do? What is Magic going to do? But yeah, let's we can go with Jory next with and then I'll answer last after Aaron.
The
So
question
I'll
was
let
which.
Jory go. Yeah. Oh, so the question was
So
like
the
what,
question was which.
like with any like what like give me your answer on like what team do you think is the next in line to like knock off the Nuggets or have a chance to knock them off, or and the second part is what could teams do or what moves can teams make to like maybe get to that step.
Okay. So like the best teams that have the teams that have the best chance as of now. Right now, I do have the Celtics because one, they have the size with Jokic. They can disrupt them. They have capability to. They can probably shot when they're being consistent. Um, if you're going to the West, the Lakers, they contend on AD being consistent offensively and healthy, and LeBron being healthy, and they need shooters on the perimeter, and they need a perimeter defender as well. So I feel like the West is also wide, and Dallas doesn't have the defense. They have the offense, but they don't necessarily have the defense, and especially if they can keep Kyrie. But that'll still compromise you further defensively. Phoenix, they can't go get depth. You know from the series that we just watched, if you're going to go try to knock off Jokic in Denver, you're going to need depth because they have it. Let's see, going down. I don't think the Clippers are going to amount to anything. Be getting ready to break that team up shortly. Memphis, they're too undisciplined, mentally undisciplined. So right now, if we're going to the East, I say Boston, Milwaukee, Cleveland will be the dark horse for the exact same reasons Kyle said, and then, if Miami can get some better pieces, I give them another chance to go back to the finals. We knock off Denver.
Yeah, I feel like Miami needs some help for sure. They need another a point forward who can shoot, like stretch the floor out. All right, man. How about you, Aaron? What do you think, man?
Yeah, I think Jory made a lot of good points. Like I was gonna piggyback on hers. I think Miami's like a piece or two away from. I mean, Jimmy Butler can't do everything. Obviously, he tried to. Once again, like you remember the bubble where he like willed that Heat team to the finals. Obviously in a little bit of a different scenario with the bubble being a little weird, but it was really like Jimmy Butler and everybody else. If like Pat Riley would just go out there and make some, the appropriate moves, I think the Heat could make a run at at Denver if it would be if it were to be a rematch that way. I do think the Celtics have a great shot as well. I mean, I'm kind of a Celtics hater myself. I gotta be honest with you, but I recognize a good team when I see it. Obviously, Tatum's special, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart. Like if they can keep that intact, those players, and like they're a huge team. So you got to have size once you get to the playoffs. And I think the Sixers need to make. I don't know what's going to happen there. Obviously, James Harden probably doesn't come back. The Bucks, I think, obviously, if Giannis and Middleton stay healthy, like they have a shot if they can, stay at the same rate that they've been going. I thought the Mavericks would amount to more than what they did. I really don't like Kyrie, man. I'll be honest. Like I think he's kind of a cancer, honestly, at this point, and I just don't think he's a team guy. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but I mean, really, like you guys kind of touched on in the West, it's like. I think Golden State, if they would make a couple moves, they could be a potential threat. But will all those guys stay healthy? It's like we don't know, So it's weird, like seeing Denver at the top, and like we're kind of sitting there like, well, are they they might stay at the top? Like you would not think that a couple 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I know that Freddie is we call him Dr. Freddie, but I'm gonna dissect my take. I'm gonna take it real slow. So in the West, got the Nuggets. Obviously, they're on the hill right now. They got the championship coming to next season. So we're looking at the Kings, right? They're young. They got Keegan Murray. They got De'Aaron Fox. They have Herter. I mean, they can get maybe another veteran piece. Then you have OKC with Chet coming back, full healthy off season. So we don't know what he's gonna look like in OKC, but we know what SJ looks like. We know what Jonathan Giddey looks like. And then Dort, I think he's on that team still. So I mean, they're kind of young. Got LA Lakers. I mean, they have LeBron. Are we gonna sign back Austin Reeves and keep Hachimura Maria or get new pieces? So they have question marks. LA Clippers. Are they gonna get Chris Paul and pair? But they're all injury prone. Like if Chris Paul George. I haven't seen a whole full season of Kawhi and PG together. Kind of reminds me of the Brooklyn Nets. They had when they had Kyrie, and KD, and Harden. Like they didn't really get to play together for a full season. So we had the Clippers. Question marks on that team. The Warriors, can Curry stay healthy for a full season? I know he has kind of like frail ankles, and I think he'll his shoulder. So I think that was hurting him this time. So in Clay, I know he's not the same as the pre-Clay we've seen before. So he's kind of like not himself. So Phoenix, I mean they're still working their pieces around. Plus they got the draft. So I mean I don't know. I think it's kind of wide open right now. I know this question was kind of hard because it was like before the draft, like free agency starts, so it's kind of like hard to see what team's gonna be looking like down the road. But Cole has a point. He said, whatever team might get Dame, can Dame be a factor in another team?
I
Like,
think
can
that's all
they
talk.
push?
I think Dame's in Portland next year.
Yeah, I think so too. To be honest, I mean, I see him going maybe to the Heat, maybe making a move. But then again, like, on my show, we did the trade thing, and like there was no really trade. I think gave away Hero and a couple of first round picks, so that's kind of hard. In the East, that's wide open because other than the Celtics, are they going to bring back Brown? Are they going to, Philadelphia? I know Harden wants to go back to Houston, and B can do it all by himself. I know he has Maxey. I mean, Cavs with Donovan Mitchell, and they need. I mean, they're probably good with Jared Allen and Mobley. I mean, they're young. The Knicks, maybe can they get another veteran player? I mean, they're not that. I mean, they had Brunson. So it's kind of hard to the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, they have Bridges and they're all young. So it's like I feel like the Nuggets are like on a hill by themselves right now. I mean, other than if some team makes a big splash in the offseason, um, I don't see anyone beating them. I know, like Aaron said, like it's kind of hard to. I mean, they're in kind of a league of their own right now, So they're all set. They're all under contract. So I mean, they're probably maybe a couple pieces from the bench from getting their bench a little better. I know they got Bruce Brown and Christian Brown, I think, but I don't know. I think the team that I kind of see, maybe if LA Lakers can, I mean, they still have LeBron James and AD. Can he stay healthy? What pieces can they do to push? So yeah, maybe LA if they can get some pieces, maybe help AD out, get another big man to, when AD goes out, him come on the bench. Um, there's no really clear team though. I think LA is the closest. I think, and maybe I would say in the West. I don't know. I really don't know. Phoenix maybe. I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, I think the part of this question that's going to leave it open ended right now is we all assume that this free agency period is going to be crazy with a lot of movement. So,
true.
like some people in the chat said, if Damian Lillard were to get moved, obviously wherever he goes, that team's going to get a bump.
I think he's in Portland.
I do too, but I mean, a lot of people are kind of looking at the draft night as Portland kind of has to make a decision at that point. Either you trade Dame, maybe get a bunch of picks or whatever to really start it over, or you take that number 3 pick, draft the next big thing, or you trade number 3 to make Dame happy and bring him a legitimate star to play with. That's why with Portland's interesting to see what they do draft night. You're looking at, I think, what Jonathan put in the chat, the Knicks need to move Julius Randle. Let's say they were to do that and actually upgrade over Randle. Maybe the Knicks become somewhat of a player. Milwaukee's got to make a decision on Middleton. Do they want to bring him back? Do they just let him go and try to fill his production with somebody else? Like, there's a lot of question marks all around the league. So right now, looking at it, yes, Denver looks so good because Denver doesn't really have to make a tough decision until 2-3 years from now. Their toughest decision this year is going to be, do we bring back Bruce Brown or not? Like, that's a really good position to be in.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, they don't have no worries. Just like Bob Marley, no worries.
That's a luxury.
Or no, don't worry.
That is very luxury.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
If like I'll ask you guys real quick. If Dame goes to Miami, do you think? I'm not gonna say they become the favorite, but do you put them on the same pedestal as Denver, like going into next year?
I don't put them on the same pedestal yet. I feel like they need. I mean, obviously, I feel like right now on that team, Jimmy Butler is the Batman. He does need a Robin. Maybe that's Dame. But they need like a. I mean, I like Kevin Love, but they need like a younger, like a pure 4 to shoot the 3 because Bam can't do it. Jokic, like if Bam had. So if Bam kept his body size, his body size, and had like Jokic skill set, like with this 3-point ball, like he will be lethal. I think Bam, but Bam he has a little deep mid range shot, but like the Heat need like or even a stretch five or a stretch four to like stretch the floor out. Because Butler, he can do it, but he can't do it all by himself. So Dame would kind of like push that needle to beat Denver, but they need more pieces like to surround him. Maybe Dame would do that. Maybe another superstar would do that. I mean, I like Butler, man. Like playoff Butler, Jimmy Butler. Like he goes off, man. But in that series, like he had a couple great scoring bursts, but there's some games where he had 11 points, 12 points here, like turn the ball over, shooting poorly. So maybe Dame kind of helps. Maybe Dame could be that Robin to his Batman. But I think they need more than just Dame.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know, offensively, yeah, it'll help him overtake him, but Dame doesn't have the size to Denver either. So you're still compromising size with need when everybody on Denver is like 6'6" plus. And they need somebody, like somebody said in the comments, I can't because I don't have my glasses right now, but they also need somebody to post. So
yeah, Jonathan's right that he needs.
You can get if they go to get Dame, they get a piece or two more. I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, they do have like Gabe Vincent and Max Struss is not it. I'm sorry, Max Struss, you're not it, man. Like they need this clean house, like not clean the whole house.
For 2 points in a quarter. If you combine for 2 points in a quarter, what are you for? Yeah. I can do that in my sleep. Come on now.
I mean,
Jordan? Can you shoot 2 points in the NBA? The NBA, it's a deep shot.
She's trying to let you know. Don't leave her open in the corner, man. Don't leave her open.
Stretch forward. I'm joking. But
I'm a small forward. Don't play with me.
yeah. But
I think what Johnson says here, yeah, Pat Riley will definitely address those needs because that's what Pat Riley does.
Yeah, and they still have a good cushion.
He says no rebound, no ring.
I mean, the Heat are not really far off from Denver. They still have Eric Spoelstra as a good coach. I mean, they still have Pat Riley, like Jonathan said. They just need like maybe a Dame type point guard and like a couple, like Jonathan said, like the Heat kind of settle for shots outside shots. So they needed like Joker can like he's hybrid. He can go outside, inside, and do it efficiently. So he kind of need that kind of. I don't know where they're gonna get it. Maybe in the draft, or maybe if they have a draft pick, or look out for the market. But they're not that far off from Denver. They just need like a four. They can get Randall for it. Randall is just man. You're trash when your kid is. Your kid at the All-Star game is looking at you like, "Why are you shooting, Dad?"
He only goes to one side too. He only goes to one side.
I mean, he's nice. He had that 1 year, and then he kind of fell off.
Yeah, when he needed a contract, he had that really nice year. What a surprise!
Yeah.
Okay. Look at this last comment here from Jonathan. Heat culture is a real thing, but they need size and another co-star to team up with Butler. Also, they need Tyler Hero to be that dude
and stay on the court.
Yeah, they do.
Not being hurt, but you can't help that.
Yeah, you can't help injuries. Yeah, he had a hand or a wrist injury. So
I thought Bam was supposed to be the other superstar.
Wait, who? Oh, then they got Victor Oladipo. I think. Yeah, I forgot about him too.
I mean, Oladipo at this point,
so they need 3.
He's damaged goods at this point.
That's a shame too. That's a shame. He is. He used to be so good.
Oh yeah, he used to be.
He's a non-factor.
All right, cool. Appreciate that. Cool. All right, so let's go to the next topic. We're going to switch sports. No, we're not. I decided we'll stick with basketball. Why not go away from it? So this is my question. Now that Joker has won his NBA title, he's got the MVPs. It kind of solidifies himself as one of the greats in today's game. Who's the pressure on now to win a title? I put up a couple of faces here. I'm sure there's probably some names you might think of that's not even on here on this graph.
So it's kind of like similar. That's kind of like my question, like who can knock them off, like.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm looking at players because now
players.
we know NBA media is going to be like, this guy might need a ring to become a Hall of Famer or whatever. So with Joker winning the title, which player has the most pressure to win it all next year?
Man,
let's start with Aaron on this one.
All right. As far as I'm one person that thinks like Chris Paul is cursed. I don't think he's going to get a ring just because it's either there's an injury or he doesn't play well when somebody doesn't show up. So I really do feel like Chris Paul will finish his career without a ring. Whether it's like pressure or not, I just think he's like over the mountain on what, like, he's out of his prime. He's still a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's not garbage by any means, but he just, I don't think he gets a ring. That's just, for whatever reason, man, it's always something when, his team gets close, or whether it be on the Clippers. Obviously he drugged the Hornets back in the day to the playoffs, and now with the Suns, he's kind of, I mean, you could kind of say KD has some pressure only because he obviously rode the quote unquote, he rode the coattails of Stephen Clay. I mean, I know he was the MVP of the finals the one season, but he hasn't won one since leaving there. Obviously, Brooklyn didn't work out. That's kind of not in all of his control either. But I am going to kind of switch it to, I just think Tatum kind of has that pressure on him only because that team is so good. Like that team on paper should make the playoff, or should make the finals, I should say, and come out of the East at the very least. Obviously, they haven't been to the finals with Tatum yet. It's I don't know, man. Like I think he needs to ascend into that. Like he's right there. He's knocking on that door, but he needs to get to the finals this year. And even if they lose, I'll say it like this: if he balls out, like, that, I just feel like he needs to make that next step and get his team into the NBA finals.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they went there a couple of years ago against the Warriors, but I see what you're saying.
I did forget about that. Yeah, I was
a lot of people talked about Tatum's performance, so I see what you're saying.
Yeah, right. No, I don't know. Like, you can make a case like these other, like Embiid, right? Like, if he doesn't have a good point guard, it's like, is it really fair to put it all on him? Like, I think you have to look at the supporting cast of all these guys.
Okay. All right. So next let's go Jory next.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I know it's probably not gonna happen, but I have like a list of people. But I'm gonna just start with Joel Embiid, because one, you won an MVP that a lot of people think that you shouldn't have won, and then you disappeared in the playoffs, and then you threw your teammates under the bus, which is not very MVP-like.
That was messed up, right?
Yeah.
So stop crying when it matters most. Get your weight up in the weight room so you can stay healthy. And because it's like with him, we know what he's capable of. He's just so soft and so sensitive, and it's everybody else's fault that it's just disruptive. I feel like going back to the last conversation, Jimmy Butler could be under pressure to win a title. He's been there twice, hasn't won one. The playoff Jimmy type of reputation could be kind of on the ropes, because, like I said, the last two times he went to the finals, he kind of disappeared, and it's not like he automatically just disappears. And he starts on a steady decline. Like you notice with this series, that decline started pretty much game one of the Denver series. So, but one thing is, if you play well during the regular season, Jimmy included, they wouldn't have dead legs in the playoffs. That's another excuse that people give Miami as well. But he wouldn't disappear if he didn't have dead legs. And then another pressure point probably won't happen, but a different kind of side of it. The duo in Los Angeles, LeBron and AD. I'm talking about Mr. Load Management and always hurt. They know Kawhi Leonard and Paul George aren't going to win a title, but if they don't get past the second round of the playoffs, I feel like that team will be split up within the next season.
Are you talking about LA Lakers or Clippers?
The Clippers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Okay. Well,
That's
Jordan.
what I had.
Um, to make it easy, I can. So to make this list kind of short, I can kind of custom select for Zion, like all the young players, because they still have room to improve. I want to see a full season of Zion. Um,
So is
Trey,
everybody else.
I mean, yeah, but I think the player who has the most pressure, Joy kind of stole my player, Joel Embiid, because I think that and she kind of stole my line, and where she said that like he won MVP, and I think Jokic should have won MVP. Because I mean, I feel like Joel Embiid. I mean, there was one stretch where Jokic got hurt and he didn't play, and Joel kind of like overtook him. But because it was tight, the race was tight. But I mean, and all in all, I mean, we all know on this panel or in the chat, we all know Jokic should have won that MVP. So the pressure is more on Embiid. I mean, I say two players out of this. The top two, I think, is Embiid and Tatum. So I'm gonna go with Embiid first. Embiid, I don't know how many times he's been to the Eastern Conference Finals, but if you're talking about Father's
He hasn't
Day,
been there.
like
I can answer that for you already. He
huh?
has not been in the conference finals at all.
Oh yeah, I apologize. And do you know why? Because I know Father's Day yesterday. Because the Celtics are their daddy. Like that's the only team that has prevented them from getting to the Eastern. Am I making things up?
Well, that
Like,
Raptors team with like Kawhi making that last second shot in the corner, but I don't know how many times is that going to, that's a different.
yeah, that was like a Kobe-esque kind of moment right there. This is the corner shot. But to be fair, yeah, I mean the Celtics have been the 76ers daddy. Let's be honest. And Joel, I like Joel Embiid. He's dominant, very dominant. But I feel bad because the supporting cast he has had. I know he has Harden. He has Maxi, which is a young player, still can have room to improve and be even more elite. I just think that now you have the MVP. Now you need to get to the finals, man. Prove to everyone that prove to the NBA haters that think that you didn't deserve the MVP. Prove to them that you deserve the MVP. Like, get to the finals, man. Like, and I know he's not the GM. He can't sign contracts. He's a player. He's not you're not a LeBron where he can where he should have a say because he's like that star on the team, but have a say of who he wants on the team. But like he's a player, so he can only control what he can control. But and then Tatum, I mean, just like Aaron said, that the Celtics, I mean, they have a defensive player of the year in Marcus Smart. They have a kind of age, kind of Al Horford, which he's kind of inconsistent, but at some points, we got Brown and Tatum, two of the best, young stars coming up in the game. They had Malcolm Brogdon as the sixth man, so I mean they have a good bench, and they got a young center in Robert Williams. So I mean they should have won that series against the Heat. But Tatum went down with the ankle injury in game 4, so I mean that kind of is what it is. It's an injury, but I think it's on those two. I mean maybe another one, maybe Dame, because like he's kind of like that elite shooter who can change the game. But his rosters back in prior years, they haven't been elite rosters. And then McCollum got shipped to New Orleans, so that was kind of like his a 1 and 2. But I think those two players that I had 1 and 2, Embiid and Tatum. And I like Tatum. I like Embiid, but Embiid, if you're watching, man, if you are by chance, like you need to prove to the NBA haters that don't think that you deserve that MVP. You have to get to the finals, man, or he's gonna get even more unhappier and probably want to leave the team. So
my only pushback with Embiid is they were the 3 seed last year. So the supporting cast is decent enough to be a top 3 seed in the East. And if you saw Game 7 against Boston, Embiid had wanted no part of that game. I'm not putting that on his supporting cast. That's all on him. If you're going to tell me you're the best big man, or I mean, we all know Joker is a better big man right now, but if he's a top 2 big man, those are the moments where he has to show his dominance. He didn't do it in Game 7. That's why they're sitting at home. So until Embiid shows me anything like that, I don't even put Embiid in this conversation. To me, I think the most pressure is on KD because now you're looking at a super team in Phoenix that he's now a part of. He was a super team in Brooklyn that failed miserably. If this Phoenix squad does not get to the finals next year, they're not going to point at Booker. They're not going to point to Bradley Beal. They're going to point at Kevin Durant. You know, he's got a new coach in Vogel. We'll see how that relationship works. You know, Monty Williams, a lot of people felt like shouldn't have gotten fired there. You can point to KD for that too, because they moved on from Chris Paul. You know, Booker's still really young, but KD, it's like he had it good in Golden State. He listened to a lot of the outside noise that called it a cupcake move and all this kind of stuff, and I feel like that kind of pushed him away from that. And it seems like since he's left there, nothing's gone right for him. Now, whether it was Kyrie pushing Harden away and then broke up that squad, you know, Chris Paul getting hurt again last year, killed Phoenix's chances. So I think there's a lot of pressure on KD next year. I mean, there's going to be some pressure on Tatum, of course, because, I mean, there's pressure kind of this year on them to get to the finals. So I think that's going to be there as well. I mean, Jordan, you said Zion. At this point, I'm like, people are just kind of questioning if Zion.
Like, is the pressure really on him though? Like when they said it,
I don't think Zion has all that pressure yet. Maybe off the court, he might got some pressure, but you know, on the court,
that's going on TikTok, bro.
If I have to wake up and see another story about somebody in his personal life, I'm
make
like,
it stop.
Bro, get on the court, get in shape.
Make it stop.
You have to, like you have to call your twin, man. Like you'd be like, yo, brother.
I would not be caught and stuff like that.
Call him up. Be like, yo, what's going on, man?
That's all him, man. I'm not taking that one. Nope. But
lawyer up.
He's more worried about that. He's worried more about that than getting healthy, huh? He just can't stay healthy. Zion, like whatever he's got going on off the court, that's more important than, I don't know, man. Like, will he be that guy? Like, will he be that transcendent? Like, I mean, I'm not gonna. Yeah,
like he can grow up.
Say, Aaron, big Ben Simmons, man. Like,
no, I don't want to take a shot that low because Ben Simmons
broken back on the bench, man. Like, come on, man.
But it's, like, I don't like when he's on the court. Like he can. I mean, he'll make a steal and he'll go coast to coast and do everything. But it's like, will he be able to wrap that into one season ever? You know what I mean? Like, I'm still kind of waiting to see that.
My thing
hey, Kyle, I probably need to put John Morant on there. I know you got suspended, but is the pressure on him or not really?
No. To go back to Zion real quick, my thing with him is for him to do anything productive on the court, he got to refocus his brain. He got to refocus, and he got to want to do it.
I like Zion. He's a former Duke player. Like I have respect
diet and everything. You got to want to do it.
Yeah.
He's too busy making with Mountain Dew with Zach LaVine, man. Like,
well, he better switch the water or something.
Do something.
The core water, or whatever that's with that.
He got to
want to. I don't care.
He got to want to do better for himself. That's my thing about him. Now, as far as it's whether Ja is under pressure in Memphis, they got a ways to go.
Cool, man. I like you, man. I love you, brother. But no, but
Memphis
go back
got a ways to go.
But go back to Jonathan's comment, right above Cool, because I mean that's for any athlete, like star elite athlete in the NBA. Like the pressure is on you, man, because it's hard like to get to the finals, man. It's hard for any sport to get to the finals or to a championship. So I mean, yeah, but these are the core players that you listed, but I mean,
Why's
that's
Carl
if
on
any. Who?
Why's Carl Anthony Towns on there? He ain't getting the championship.
I mean, I just threw him on there because
Shit.
He changed the game.
just talk about him, being soft as a big man, stuff in Minnesota. He might get moved. Who knows?
Minnesota is not winning the championship. They got Carl Anthony being soft. Anthony Edwards is pretty much the best player on that team, and Rudy Gobert is horrible.
Yeah.
That Suns team, man, that Suns team has no excuse. Like, that's my thing. Like, how many passes do you give this team before they obviously they went to the finals a couple of years ago, but now like I was so busy I didn't even see Bradley Beal coming over. I just read that a little bit ago. Like, woo, like I mean that's an all-star team. Like pretty much 1 through 5 is an all-star. I mean you could make a case. So I mean at least like 3 guys on that team can take the game. I mean you got Booker, KD. I mean, Ayton can take over games. Now Bradley Beal to that mix, like.
Hey, no, he needs to stop playing 2K at night, man. Like, it's like Kyler Murray. Oh, look, both in Phoenix. Look at that. Kyler Murray has a clause in the contract for playing Call of Duty or whatever, or doing game study. And look at Ayton; he's doing the same thing. But Ayton, if he can get his mind right. He can be a big center for them, but
that's why I think the coaching change might be what people look to for Ayton. I also think Ayton might get moved because you only have 5 guys on your roster. If they can move him, maybe get a couple of pieces, maybe they look at that. But if they do keep him, they got to hope Vogel does something to him and light some fire under him that maybe Monty Williams couldn't do. Because if he's trying to play soft against like Jokic and stuff,
that's not
going to find themselves in the same position.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say Phoenix too. Like KD, because like you said, Kyle, like he was known for being a cupcake for losing to a team that they were up 3-1 against, joining them, getting a ring. So now it's his opportunity. He didn't win his ring in Brooklyn. I know Kyrie and the supporting cast, Harden, they all are hurt. AD toward the Achilles, I get that. But now this is his opportunity to shine where, hey, you can win a team without Curry, Clay, and Draymond. So on a new team. So so he'll be my third on the list. So Embiid, Jay Tatum, and Kevin Durant. Kawhi, he's injury bugged. Paul George, he's injury bugged. Chris Paul's injury bugged. I mean, I know injuries are a part of the game, but I haven't really seen a full. The last time Kawhi played, he got like 47 points, and he was done for the playoffs. So, and he wasn't active. He was up in the rafters with who's the owner of the Clippers?
Ballmer,
yeah. So he was living lavish in the suites, man. So, and Paul George, like we thought when Kawhi went down, Paul George was gonna step up, and then he got hurt. So they brought in Russell, kind of gave him a little fire under their team, but they might need a clean house and keep clean house. I do like Zubiak though. I like Zubiak. He's nice, but
okay. Well, got another topic where now I'm going to switch sports over to NFL. So this one was Dylan's question. Dylan's taking care of some stuff, but I thought we'd use it anyway. So Dylan's question was, which quarterback, this kind of been a theme of the night, going into next season, has the most pressure on them to perform? These are just a few that I put together, but maybe there's a quarterback you might have that's not on this graphic. So I think for this one, we'll start with Jordan.
Oh Lord! All right. I know Jory is tuning in and ready to. So you got Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, Herbert, Aaron Rodgers. Like, can we rank them, or can we just be like this?
No, just who has the most pressure to perform next season.
I'm torn between Lamar and
quarterback that's not on here.
I'm torn between Lamar and Aaron.
Okay.
And I'll explain. I'm Lamar. I'm excited my boy got his contract, got his long-term contract for right now. He has OBJ, he has Zay Flowers, he has a new offensive we have a new offensive coordinator in town, in Tom Munkin. The air raid attack is going to be something to look out for this season. So Lamar has no excuses. He has the weapons. He has Mark Andrews still. A revamped defense with Roquan Smith there, for a full season. But I'm kind of torn between Aaron because obviously Aaron only won one Super Bowl like a couple years ago, and he hasn't been back ever since. But now he's in New York. He has a younger core of receivers and Garrett Wilson. He has a returning running back coming from an ACL tear in Brees Hall. So he has a revamped offense. He brought in Lazard. So I mean he asked for what he got and he got it. Maybe if Aaron wasn't on the Jets, then I would say there's no pressure on the Jets because they're going to have Zach Wilson as a quarterback. Because I think Mike White went to Miami, I believe. I think it's between Lamar and Aaron. Lamar has what he needs in receivers. We'll see if OBJ can stay healthy. We'll see how Zay does. But I think Aaron. I think if someone asked me what to quarterback, I think Aaron has the most. Because that fan base is going to chew them alive if they don't win games. So, I'm in Jersey, so I'm right, not that far from MetLife Stadium. So everyone I've talked to, we have a god in Jersey now, in New York. So hey, it's on Aaron, man. It's on Aaron.
Okay. Aaron, you could go next.
Oh shit! Look at Aaron.
Yeah, right. I was trying to think of somebody outside of this, but I think you put this together pretty well, man. I'd maybe rule out Kirk Cousins right off the bat, only because we know what Kirk Cousins is gonna do. It doesn't matter. You could put Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Jerry Rice. It doesn't anybody on that team, and he'll find a way to cough it up. I can't really get on him too hard this year, though. I did watch their playoff game, and he played really well. I mean, their defense was atrocious this year. So maybe I give him a half free pass, but I don't think he's meant for prime time. I think obviously Herbert coming off that huge playoff debacle they had against the Jaguars. I mean, yes, you can put it on them, but they did throw up 30, 31 points or so on offense, and then their defense couldn't stop a nosebleed the whole second half. So I think for me, it's funny. My roommate's a huge Ravens fan, so he's all about Lamar. And I tell him, I'm like, look, man, he's got to win. He's got to win more of these big games, in my opinion. He got paid. Obviously, he does. I'm not going to say he doesn't deserve the contract, but he's got to show why he is worth that, in my opinion, going forward. Because if you don't win in the playoffs, you fill the stadium. Yeah, he's electric to watch, but I know the AFC is a gauntlet, and that's the same reason I'm going to say, Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers he couldn't get through the NFC with far less competition. The NFC is not nearly as tough as the AFC. Obviously, you got Burrow, Mahomes, and then you bring the other guy up there, Josh Allen. That's a three-headed monster, and I'm not saying Lamar can do it all himself or Aaron Rodgers can do it all himself, but Aaron Rodgers to me is he gets you there, but he'll leave you right where you're standing. He's not taking you across the finish line because he has one ring and it was 12 or so years ago. I lost faith in him in the playoffs a while ago. I think honestly, I think Russell Wilson coming off how atrocious of a year he had, I would say he kind of has the most pressure coming in with Sean Payton. If they come out and they start out the season 2-4, people are going to start being man, how do we get out of this contract? What do we and he's the reason they're 2-4 because they have a good defense. There's no doubt. I think Russell Wilson, maybe Lamar, but I still think, Lamar's done enough to give himself some leeway. I think Russell Wilson has a ton of pressure And you brought up a really good point, Jordan, with Rodgers as far as like being in the New York area, like that those fans will eat you alive. I'm in the Philadelphia area; it's the same thing. So, but it's like I don't expect Rodgers to get the job done. I'm not gonna say I expect Russell Wilson to, but like I don't know, man. You couldn't have played worse last year. So, like you better at least show something. You better take him to the playoffs. You better show signs of life this year, especially with Sean Payton coming in. You know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jory, what do you think?
Y'all kind of stole my thunder, but I'm gonna just go with my list anyway. So, like the first, like my definition of pressure is kind of like it's different type. Like depending on the circumstances, each one got different circumstances. Like Lamar just got paid. You got to upgrade to the receiver and the coaching staff. And we still kind of view Lamar as a passer. He's still kind of unproven, so he has to kind of prove himself. He has some pressure to prove that this year that he's capable pocket passer. Number 2, Josh Allen. The reason why I say this is because since that Stephon Diggs diva fit, they don't beat Kansas City or Cincinnati. That is not going to be nothing compared to what's we already seen him act the fool, so he's there. And then he's been reckless, turnover prone. There shouldn't be a reason like, oh, Josh Allen and Ryan Tannehill have the exact same playoff record. Did you know that? He needs to get over the hump over Cincinnati or Kansas City. Pressure's on. Because I feel like with the Bills and how they've been talked about as Super Bowl contenders for the past 4 to 5 years, if they don't do anything, if they don't do anything, they might start trying to blow this team up.
Oh hell, man! Freddie.
Don't get me started, Freddie. Let me finish my take. I'll come back to you in just a second. 3.
Oh shit.
Mr. Prescott, Dak Prescott. And it's not to get to the Super Bowl.
Wait, like give a whole list.
Huh? Yeah, I got a whole list. Give me 2 minutes.
Go ahead, Jory. You got it.
All right. I'll be myself, so go ahead.
Prescott, can you not be the reason why the Cowboys fail? Like, I feel like this season specifically is set up for with how much talent the Cowboys have. He can't be the reason why they failed this year. Crossroads with that. He doesn't have any excuses. Just like I said with Lamar, no excuses.
Freddie.
Aaron Rodgers, for the exact same reason, the Jets went and got Aaron Rodgers under the thought of we are a quarterback away. They wouldn't have did that if they didn't think they were a quarterback away. And then, of course, Russell Wilson. You gotta prove to us that last year was a fluke and it was Nathaniel Hackett's fault. Quit missing routine reads and quit being gun-shy and flinching at the side of the defender and use your legs. The pressure's on you too. That's all I have.
Would you say Burrow has pressure too?
No.
I mean, he's been to a Super Bowl, hasn't won one. He's in a tough division.
He's so young though, like.
I mean, Lamar's young. He's like 26, right? 26, 25.
He's been consistently top 2.
Yeah, with like
there's pressure.
And I feel like that organization
core, like with Jamar Chase and Boyd and all that, like.
Yeah, but that organization was so bad when he came in. Like,
that's true.
Exactly.
If they would have drafted, I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody else that hasn't lived up to expectations yet. But like, I don't know. Like, if they wouldn't have, like, if they had Kirk Cousins, they wouldn't make the playoffs. I don't even think. You know what I mean?
How many AB? Huh?
Maybe they would.
AB? How many does Geno Smith have? Thank you, Dylan. Goodbye.
What kind of cut, man? He saw Lamar Jackson. You came about Geno Smith.
Come on, like.
Well, that goes to you talking about Joe Burrow. I mean,
no. I mean, I was asking y'all.
Joe Burrow's at least been to the promised land. He hasn't crossed the finish line, but Lamar has to get there too. So I'd say Lamar would have more than Joe Burrow. Look, I'm gonna keep my answer really quickly. I think it's Aaron Rodgers. He's in the New York market. We've already seen it. ESPN and all of them are drooling over the fact of Rodgers being the Jets quarterback. I don't think the season is going to go as well as they think. So because of that, there's going to be plenty of pressure on Aaron Rodgers all season. And we saw at times, even in Green Bay, a market that's known for their media presence, he'd have to sit there and do his little relaxed stuff and all that. That's not going to play in New York. So I think there's a lot of pressure on Rodgers. And like you said, Jordan, they brought in pieces that he wanted. Even some of them were the old wide receivers from Green Bay that apparently weren't good enough there. But now we're supposed to believe in them in New York.
Mhm.
But I mean, that's not my problem because I'm not a Jets fan. So I think there's a lot of pressure on Rodgers. Yes, Lamar's going to have some because of the big contract, but I don't think anything's going to touch Aaron Rodgers' pressure this year.
I mean, I could also throw in Josh Allen because with they had Stephon Diggs, and now he's saying that I think in a report that came out today that doesn't feel like he doesn't get a chance to like have a say in the play calls or whatever. Or, like he's not showing up at the mini camp or training camp. So hey, the pressure on them too.
Let them not get to the divisional again.
I mean, how many times have they been to the
Let
AFC
them not
Conference
get
and
to a
haven't been to the
divisional.
Super Bowl? I mean, they should have got that to the Super Bowl that one year with that crazy game against the Chiefs, because that was a back and forth game. But Allen he has pressure too. So I think with Stephon Diggs and that team, they got a good defense. They got Jordan Poyer and Michael Hyde coming back. I mean, Von Miller coming back from an injury. I mean, Freddie, didn't you say that we were a poverty franchise? So shut up, man. Please.
Who does Freddie like again?
Freddie like, oh my. Okay, Aaron. So okay.
We're supposed to tell you, Aaron.
I'm
he
so-
likes the Giants.
I'm
That's what
all
we're
right.
supposed to tell you.
Oh, that's
Freddie,
right. No,
Freddie. I mean, not Freddie.
He did tell me
Todd.
that. Yeah, he was like, I live in Texas because I thought he was going to be a Cowboys fan. I was like, okay, well,
Aaron,
He's a Giants fan.
let me break you down. So when the Rams won the Super Bowl, he was a Rams fan, and then the Giants came to town. He's a Giants fan.
He's a
And
Giants
he said
fan.
on this platform, actually, like I think it was earlier this year, he said Daniel Jones is going to get 1,400 rushing yards and 30 touchdowns. Like Freddie, lay off the weed, brother. Lay off the weed, man. Like you need to focus on getting
This
Saquon
the
Barkley on
same
your
Freddie
team, man.
that said he's gonna rush for 1,400 yards.
Come on the show, Freddie. Come on, man. Please, bro. Please, man. I got the gloves ready, man.
I mean, he caught my team frauds too, but he got the same.
Yo,
his
he
team
went
got the
from
same
Giants to the Rams and
unproven
back to the
wide
Giants.
receiver
So.
issue, too.
wait, Jory, who do you like? I'm trying to just get kind of understand everybody's fan base here. Like,
So obviously, I'm a Ravens fan, so yeah,
Okay.
you know that.
yeah,
I'm a Titans fan.
I'm sorry, Titans.
I'm a Titans fan.
Okay, yeah,
Don't
that's
start,
different.
Jordan.
And
What?
I'm a Patriots fan.
Oh man, that's worse than being a Cowboys fan in my book. I'm sorry, you're a cool dude. I can tell. Like,
Freddie.
we can talk about sports, but oh man, God, I can't
Freddie
do it.
Owl.
Boston
Freddie,
fan.
I would. Freddie,
I understand from the outside.
Freddie,
people
I
don't like
will.
the
Freddie,
Patriots.
Freddie, I will knock the glasses off your forehead, bro. I'll smash some shits, man.
Hey, Freddie. Next time you do Freddie facts, you know who you need to bring on. You need to bring Jordan on now.
Yeah. Well, what about Mac Jones? What do you think? He's got to have pressure going into the season, don't you think? Like,
Juju
He
Smith.
absolutely does. Yes.
Yeah.
The TikTok star, Corvette.
He got a little bit.
Like,
Yeah, yeah. Look, but I mean, to be honest with you, Bill Belichick might have more pressure than Mac Jones.
oh,
Freddie,
I don't.
man.
You think so? But
I think what we'll see is if the Patriots don't do well, a lot of people are going to start talking that maybe Belichick needs to go. Maybe Belichick's got to retire. Maybe the game's passed them by. I don't believe that. But looking at last year with the whole Matt Patricia thing, that points directly to Bill Belichick. If they play better this year with Bill O'Brien, I still think there's going to be a lot of people who will come back to the Matt Patricia part and be like, why did Bill Belichick waste our time with Patricia the year before? Mac Jones, I think he'll be fine. Problem is, if you look at that division, like if they win 8-9 games and finish last, it'll be like pretty bad year. I would just look at the division being really tough. And their schedule's really tough. The first
that's a
4 or
tough
5
division,
games are
man.
ridiculously tough.
Yeah, so who do they play the first 4 games? Who do they play? Miami.
They like open with
AFC
they
is
open with
set
the
up.
Eagles. They play Cowboys. They play the Bills.
That's
Dolphins.
That's 0-5 right there, man.
I guarantee they win a couple of games. That's all.
0-5,
Get
man.
'em.
That's like a plan, bro.
They win a couple of
But the way the AFC set up this year, and there's so much, for the lack of a better word, parity in the AFC.
Yeah.
It's pretty much minus the Chiefs and the Bengals. It could be wide open. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a 10-win not make the playoffs. 9-10 win team not make the playoffs this year on the AFC. The NFC side, that's a little bit more wide open.
Yeah.
Oh, Keith, that's my Ravens guy, man. The Ravens, Keith Meeks. What's up,
Ravens,
man?
Lakers, man. That's crazy.
Lord.
Wait, is he talking about me or is he talking about his? I know he's a Lakers fan.
maybe both of y'all like the same 3 teams. I don't even
No,
know.
like the combination is
Y'all do.
like Ravens, Lakers, Yankees. That's
I mean,
hey, more power to you. I'm not hating, but that's like all over the map.
Wait, who's your? So I asked him the group. So your team's the Eagles. Then do you have
I'm
like
an Eagles.
do you have like an NBA team you follow?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been a Sixers fan my whole life, but when Carmelo, because I was like the biggest Carmelo fan, so wherever he was, I pulled for them like so heavy. So when he went to the Knicks, which I know Philadelphia and New York are rivals, but I was like with Stoudemire, with Melo, I was like, God, I love that. And I'm a LeBron hater, I'll be honest with you. So I always wanted to see the Knicks get the best of LeBron. So I guess I switched
you're
during
a
that time
LeBron
period.
hater? Oh my god.
I guess I should say I'm a Knicks fan, technically speaking, but I'm not like Sixers or Knicks. Whatever. Like I guess gun to my head, I'd probably say Knicks, but
Yeah.
it's that type of thing. But
Matt-
I'm an
Matt-
Eagles fan though for football all day.
Matt, but how come you're a LeBron hater, man? You don't like? Do you hate the greatness, man?
I can't do it with the flopping. I can't do it with.
No, Marcus Smart flops, man. Like, come on.
I just
Hey,
I like-
Smart to go.
I like Tatum, man. I'll be honest. Like he's not.
Yeah.
I just ever since LeBron had the decision that was like, all right, I can't do it with this guy anymore. I jumped ship then.
Got you.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, of course you do, Kyle. Boston Celtics fan.
Hey. Hey, look, it's easy to tell who I root for, okay? I'm right there, Boston. All through and through.
Okay. Oh.
I mean, I've been told my college football. I'm an Alabama fan when it comes to football and Duke basketball. So,
Damn.
My basketball.
There you go, cool McLean. That's my guy right there.
Can't forget about Alabama.
Fly Eagles, fly.
All right.
It's all right, man.
All LA. Okay.
It's all right, man. Like I tell my one boy, he's a Yankees and a Patriots fan. I'm like, look, you can't do Boston and New York. You can't.
Yeah.
no, you cannot.
Like I told him a million times, I was like, I don't like the Red Sox at all, but I was like, I'll respect you more if you like all Boston teams, at least, or if you like the Giants. All right, whatever. Like,
Hold on. He's from Boston?
he's from upstate New, but he grew up like in my area,
Okay.
which is central Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
But his whole family's from upstate New York, and I'm like, you should be a Bills fan then. And he's
Yeah.
like,
True.
no, I watched Brady since I was and I was like, okay, man, like you're a Patriots fan, but you're a Yankees fan. Like, I can't do it with you. I can't.
Wow.
So since you're,
So very
I guess,
brief.
so obviously you think that Jordan's the GOAT in that debate, that Jordan LeBron debate. I mean, that's for another episode, but
Yeah, I
That's
want
a
to
whole
hurt
nother-
Jordan's feelings on this one too.
who hurt my feelings?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not. It's not gonna get hurt. It's just I'm open minded.
Okay. Hold on. Get these last comments up here. Eagles got the wins.
Oh, you got the Cowboys fan.
Oh, you'll see this. There's a few of them.
Oh yeah.
Celtics for basketball, Yankees.
I mean,
That's wild. I did not
I'm a
know
Lakers
this.
fan. I'm a Lakers fan, I'm a Bama fan, and I'm a Titans fan. So kind of makes sense.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
used to be a
because I mean,
Falcons fan, but then I got tired of watching. I
I
grew
can
up a
understand
Falcons
that.
fan because I live in Georgia,
That's
and I
that
didn't
Super
really get
Bowl
to
was
choose my team until I was like older
yeah,
because everybody was watching the Falcons. So I grew up a Falcons fan, and then I got tired of watching them when I was like 13 or 14, and I switched.
I can respect that. Because you didn't switch to like Cowboys or something like that. You switched to the Titans. Now I don't think there's a lot of people who go from the Falcons to the Titans. So that's a respectable move there.
I
All
know
right, I
living in
mean,
Georgia, you can't go from the Falcons to the Saints. You can't do
no, you
that.
cannot.
No,
Yeah,
you can't.
that's a crime.
There'll be a war in the streets if you try that. I never understood the hatred those two teams had until I got to the South, and it's like that's like
I
real
grew up
hatred
with it.
between those two.
I grew up with
Wow,
it. I still
that's
don't like the
wild.
Saints.
I don't either. They tried to kill Brett Favre in that bounty game.
Yeah,
Not that I mean, he's done a lot of damage off the field now,
yes,
but regardless, they try to cripple that man.
yeah. They kind of swept that under the rug.
Yeah, and they always have the Eagles. Man, the Saints have beat us so many times in so many games that I can't. I don't like the Saints at all.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, if you hate the Saints, you might get to laugh at them a lot this year. Depending on what Carr does with them, they could be in for a really long season. So they could
They will
tune
be
in.
because he's inconsistent.
Yeah,
I mean, when you're coming off of Jameis Winston and throwing Taysom Hill out there, like Carr's a step up from
Anything
that.
is better at that. But true.
All right, I mean,
Look,
well, I think Aaron, you had the follow up to the Aaron Rodgers stuff, which I mean, we could spend like a couple minutes on that one if you want.
yeah. Whatever you got. Yeah, if you guys. I just wanted to ask you guys. I wanted to hear your opinion on how far do you see Aaron Rodgers taking the Jets, and like what's a disappointment? Like if he makes the playoffs and loses in the first round, is that a disappointment? Like what's your expectation and what's a disappointment? And I guess I'll pass it right back to you, Kyle, since you threw it at
Okay.
me.
So for me, I would be disappointed if the Jets won the Super Bowl because that means all the stuff I've been saying about Aaron Rodgers would be a complete lie. I think realistically, I kind of think for it to be worth it, all the time wasting and all the picks given up, they got to make the AFC Championship game. That has to be the bare minimum. Like if they get there and they lose to the Chiefs or something, I could be like, look, good first step. You probably only get Rodgers for like 2 years, so next year you got to take the next step. If it's something like one and done, they lose in the wild card round, I think that's going to blow up in the Jets' face miserably. Because you can't make the move paying him what he is, what you're paying him, following all his demands, dealing with all of his, weird antics off the field and all that, just to be one and done. Because you could have done that with somebody of lesser stature. With that defense that they have, it has to be a deep run in the AFC playoffs. And the only person I think they could lose to and you'd be fine with is probably Kansas City. Because even if you lose to Buffalo, it'd be like, really? Like Josh Allen's been taking steps back, but you can't even beat Josh Allen. So it's got to be losing to the Chiefs in the AFC title game.
Fair. I agree.
Wait, so what's the so it's about Aaron? So what's the question again? Like what?
Yeah, so what do you expect? Like how far do you expect the Jets to go? And then like what is like how he kind of touched on what's the bare minimum of like what's a disappointing season and what's your expectation of them at the same rate?
I think expectation, like I kind of agree with Chase. Like they're not gonna get past the Chiefs, but I think they might be a wild card team, because this AFC is kind of tight. Like so I mean compared to the NFC, it's a lot more competitive division. So I say with him in town, I think their ceiling this year is a wild card spot. And obviously, a lost season would be not making the playoffs. With that talent, he wanted half the receivers he wanted, like from Packers. He has Alan Lazard. I think he had Randall Cobb on the team. I see Dylan blowing the comments up. I like that. Yeah. So I think their high ceiling this year is a wild card spot, and their fail season would be just miss the playoffs because Aaron Rodgers, he obviously changes that team around with the talent compared to Zach Wilson. So yeah, that's how I kind of view Aaron Rodgers and the Jets.
If they miss the playoffs, New York's gonna burn to the ground.
Oh, they will.
Oh yeah.
MetLife.
They'll be like, I got Aaron Rodgers. What else do we need? Or what else can we get? Like, so.
What do you say, Jory? What do you on that one?
Like realistically, like their floor, like if they don't make the playoffs, is done.
Just that.
Like y'all alluded to, the New York media will eat Aaron Rodgers up if they don't make the playoffs. So the bare minimum is the wild card, and if they don't get past the divisional, I feel like it'll be a lost season. What they've done for Aaron Rodgers, you went and took on that salary. You went and got some of his homeboys from Green Bay. You catered to him. You started canceling practices and mini camps and stuff like that. If y'all don't get past the divisional round of the playoffs, it'll be for what? Absolutely nothing. So I feel like they got to get past the division. Anything less than the division is a failure.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you you guys this question too, because I don't want them to give him like a free pass, like, oh, it's his first season, this and that. Like Kyle and Jory, like all you guys touched on is like they brought guys over to cater to him. Like I don't want to hear the excuse. Like he would always fail in the playoffs, and they would have first round buys, and they'd have home field advantage in Green Bay in that cold climate. You had hot, warm weather teams going into that environment and stealing games out from underneath Aaron Rodgers. Like I'm done with if he obviously he was on that Pat McAfee show saying he's probably the best Packer alive. I'm like, man, like you might be, you might not, but like less talking, less individual MVP awards. Like, man, if you're one of the best ever, you'll win a Super Bowl with the Jets. Now, I'm not saying he has to this year, but I think like Kyle and Jory, how you guys said it, like you got to get to the AFC Championship game. Like you can't, especially let's say they get a first round bye. Like that would be insane if he just lights it up in the regular season, and then they get to the playoffs and they lose that first playoff game. Like that's not good enough, man. Like if you're Aaron Rodgers, like you say you are, like be that guy. Like be like Brady. As much as I couldn't stand Brady, man. Like he went New England to Tampa, got a chip. Like you at least got to get to the AFC Championship. I don't care how deep the AFC is. If you're the guy you say, you act like, because he has a big ego. Like, I mean, all those guys do, I guess, but he's especially, I can't do it with him either. So we'll see. I expect them to lose in the divisional round. I don't even expect them to get to the AFC Championship because it's every time it's the playoffs, it's like for one reason or another they don't do it. But I think, like you guys said, from a fan's perspective, like if I was a Jets fan, I'd expect them to be in the AFC Championship at bare minimum with that defense.
Yep. Yeah. I think, like I said, with that defense, that's got to be the measuring stick, AFC title game. But, I mean, we're coming to an hour 15, kind of like where we like to leave cheap seats at. But, I mean, like Jordan said a little while ago, chat, you guys are great tonight. Dylan and, all your crew coming in with the fire emojis. We definitely appreciate that. Next week, we'll probably have Dylan and Gene back. But I got to say, Aaron, I mean, the first time doing a show with you, really great. I'm hoping maybe some other time, maybe we need to fill in, reach out to you, have you back on. Same with you, Jory. It's like the second time I've done a show with you. And
Yes, sir.
I mean, you're great as well.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Anytime.
so definitely appreciate that. Jordan, we do a bunch of shows together, so we know what happens when the two of us get on here.
It's that Kobe and Shaq. It's that Kobe and Shaq duo, man.
I mean, I didn't say it, you said it. I'm gonna let that breathe.
All right. What about Zion and I don't know.
Hey man, I already told you. I'm not trying to have
Look.
those off the court stuff like Zion. Not having it. Jordan, were you about to say something?
It's been half a week and a half.
Yeah, too long. He got to close it up. But yeah, so I think with that.
Let's wrap this up.
Oh, you broke up a little bit there, Jory.
I was like, let's wrap this up by midnight because I'm tired of talking about Zion and his food.
Yeah, we can go. Yeah, we gotta.
We're
they're pushing to get off the air, so we gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta go.
It's been a good show. Gene, we miss you, man. Hopefully the move's good. And like Kyle said, Aaron, your first show, man, you did a good job, brother. Hopefully we can be on the show together, like maybe on the Big Three or whatever. So let's do it. Let's do it.
Anytime, man. Anytime we'll get it. Anytime. It's fun.
Thank
you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. But appreciate all of you in chat. If you haven't, please subscribe to Sports Empire Network. We have Coffee and Sports in the morning. Got Big Three tomorrow, like Jordan just said. Got Line in the Sand tomorrow for the wrestling fans. We got pregame pigskin Thursdays, during the NFL season. Got Top of the Key for NBA Talk Fridays. Coffee Sports is basically every morning to get you started with your day. So make sure you tune into all those shows. Really great shows, really great people on the network. With that, for myself, Jory, Jordan, and Aaron, we'll say good night. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you all later. All right, we're out of here.
Have a good one, y'all.